Well, hello there. Our event continues. Now, if you're not aware, we have got the most incredible event that we're in the midst of at the moment. Everything kicked off last night with regard to this fabulous event, and Yanis obviously was telling you about it during the last hour. But we are talking about our Summer Festival of Quilting. Now, during our live shows, all of our fabulous suppliers are contributing to our prize draw, and this time we are adding in Liberty fabrics. Oh my goodness, you don't know how big the temptation was for me just to snuggle this away and just leave an empty pack there. But I have been good. I have been good. This vibrant colour, these beautiful collections that you can see here are your Carnaby collection. Now this is going into our prize draw. So you stand a chance of winning this. It's just under £50 worth of beautiful fat quarter fabrics that you are going to have so much fun with if you are the fortunate person to win our prize draw. Now, how do you get involved? Well, you get involved simply by placing an order, and it might be for our one-day special. We are talking Liberty. We are talking a UK TV launch of the latest summer collection. Oh my goodness, it is beautiful. We're looking at your midsummer collection, and you have got your full collection coming to you within your one-day special. Half meters of beautiful Liberty fabrics. Some of the designs I am sure you will recognise, because of course with Liberty we are buying a little bit of history alongside these beautiful fabrics, and you are getting all of these. Half meters, the details on your screen. There's lots of different ways for you to get hold of these fabrics, but the deal is there, so if you want to get involved from the offset you can do. But I am not by myself. The Queen of Liberty herself is joining me. Fabulous Suzie. Suzie, my goodness, this is amazing.
They are beautiful, aren't they?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they are. Real summer in a nutshell, really. They are gorgeous fabrics.
They're
gorgeous
beautiful,
colours.
absolutely gorgeous. Now, of course, the details are on your screen, so if you want to get involved, you can do. You're looking at 15.5 metres, 7.5 metres in total because of the 15 pieces that you've got with regards to these. Now, we're looking at metric measurements with regards to these. Incredible value for money. You are saving £16. So normally you'd be paying £7.99 per metre of these. You're paying in the region of £6.99. You are saving £16 overall, but you are getting them all. The complete collection, the full midsummer collection, and it is absolutely incredible. 3 flexi buys will open up your flexi order, so it'll give you the opportunity to hone in and get more of these fabrics as a pick and mix. At the bottom of your screen you can choose any 2 of these, and we've also got some fabulous fat quarter bundles and the Wiltshire shadows specially picked to work alongside these. We'll take you through everything, do not worry. We're going to take our time, we're going to savour these beautiful fabrics, because I think that's exactly what we need to do. Look at these, absorb them and learn about the history. Because this is the thing, when we're talking about history and we're talking about Liberty, that's exactly what you're getting. Now, there's just one thing I need to mention. We are talking extended delivery with regards to these fabrics. It's only a week. It's the 6th of August. It's all right, Katie just said April. Yeah, bless her. It's not that far ahead. Oh my goodness. So now, history of Liberty. Suzie,
yes.
This is the key thing. We're buying into a little bit of history with these fabrics.
Yes, yeah, because all of these designs are from the Liberty archives.
Okay.
Various eras, but they all are original archive prints.
So can we work our way through some of these? I mean, look at these. I mean, dressmaking, beautiful. Quilts,
exactly.
We know they work
yes.
beautifully with.
Yep, bags.
Yeah.
You can do all your cosmetic bags, you can do your tote bags, you can tart up a pair of pumps if you want to. You can do patch pockets on things.
That's a good point.
Put an applique design on the back of a denim jacket. So they're not just a quilting fabric. They are obviously 100% cotton. They are Lazenby cotton, so it's an incredibly good quality cotton, so it'll wash and wear well, but it handles really nicely. But as you can see, we've made a pair of child dungarees.
So if we were to go into Liberties and we were to see a garment,
yes,
could it be made from these exact same sort of prints that we're seeing? Are these kind of current ranges that they would have for bags and makeup bags and things like these?
Yeah, traditionally Tana Lawn is the one that most people go to for your dressmaking, but there is no reason why Lazenby cotton can't be used as well.
Perfect.
Particularly for things like dungarees, skirts, blouses,
yes, Liberty
kimonos.
blouse. Oh yes. Oh,
I know.
My goodness. We are busy. We are incredibly busy. Now, your one-day special is all of these different fabrics. I want to learn about these fabrics. I want to absorb the history of these. So we were talking earlier on that many of these will be from the archives.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that they kind of are brought up to date with regards to the colours and the injection. They're very bright. This is what I'm thinking.
They are. I mean, it really is a stroll through the summer gardens, and you know the big flower shows that we normally have at this time of year.
That's true.
Well, they're usually a little bit earlier, aren't they? But it really, to me, smacks of those big showcase events.
So this particular one that we've got here,
Meadow.
Hampstead Meadow. Oh, that sounds divine.
It does look like a meadow, doesn't it? Where you've got those really vibrant flowers, but they're all sort of haphazard. Now, this one actually has got a symmetrical layout.
Okay.
But it's mirrored, so which means that it doesn't matter how you use it, which is why it worked for the dungarees. I didn't have to think about placement.
Right.
It worked when I used it for the patchwork pieces on the quilt and the cushion. Because the design is a mirrored design within it, it makes it a multi-directional.
Which is so easy, especially if you're a novice stitcher, isn't it?
Exactly. It means you haven't got to think.
Exactly. Now, you may be looking at this one thinking, well, it's very similar to the one that I saw in the dungarees, but a different colour. Don't worry, you are getting that particular fabric in there as well. But instantly, these two have got the connective factor because they're same design within there, so instantly they're going to work together. Now, let's move our way across. Oh, my goodness, this one is beautiful. What's this one called?
So this is Cosmos Flower.
Okay.
I mean, this is one of the iconic ones. This was from the 1930s originally and then got reprinted in 1969.
Beautiful.
And you've got your anemones in there, you've got those daisies popping through as well, but gorgeous. The richness of the colours, and you can see how the flowers, you know, if you look in your garden at your bunch of flowers or your garden borders, that is exactly what you see when you look at a collection of those flowers.
Wonderful. Now the next one looks familiar. Will I have seen this in the winter collection?
Well, we may have seen it a few times. This one has featured, believe it or not, in 2 of the classic collections already. It is what we call Mamie.
Beautiful.
It is stunning. I love this particular one. I've made numerous dolls' clothes in this as well as little girls' dresses, and used it for quilting.
Oh, okay.
But it is also fab if you're an EPP person or a button coverer.
Oh, yes.
Because those flowers happen to be just the right size to go on a button.
I love it.
So nothing gets wasted.
Exactly. Now we've got another colour variation of this one coming up, which looks totally different, but it's the same print, looks amazing. So the next one, oh my goodness, look at this one. Instantly I'm looking at this. This is going to be incredible for things like your bias tape. Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah, any of your bindings. It's also surprisingly is good as a blender because it features the fabric colours that run throughout the collection. It makes quite a good blender as well, but again for EPP and small scale stuff.
And what's this one called again?
That's called Suffolk Fields.
Suffolk Fields.
So that's a trip through a field, and again it does look like that wispy little.
It's got an airiness to it, hasn't it?
Yes.
Love it.
Really
now
pretty.
I have to say, I absolutely love the next one. These beautiful little roses and rosebuds featuring here. What's this one called?
So
What's
this
the history?
is Mary Rose. Now this was actually a commissioned watercolour for Liberty.
Ooh.
Back in all those many years ago of 1997.
Which sadly is history actually, isn't it, when we think back?
Isn't it scary? Isn't it scary? But what I love about this is you've got that blank white background, which means that this is also an excellent blender.
Nice, yeah.
Or a back fabric for a pliqué work and things. But again, you can feature those roses on buttons, you can use them for your EPP.
Good sizes.
And I love the fact that they've got that watercolour sort of swash in there rather than a solid.
It's beautiful.
Flower.
It's got a crispness about it. Now, the next one being Chelsea Flower. I love my blues, and this one is absolutely beautiful. Again, I'm kind of thinking maybe a blender with this one again.
Yes, a blender. And from a distance, it actually looks like spots.
Yes, that's
true. You've got those trailing vines, because I thought it was a spot to start with when I saw it. But yeah, from a distance you get that sort of spotty image, but it is great for binding as well.
Absolutely beautiful. I love it. And then the next one, we get that injection of the pinks alongside the blue and the greens, and then those beautiful kind of baby pinks in there as well. Now this one, I mean, this is a classic style again.
It is, yeah. This is Forget-Me-Not Blossom. So this is featured in the spring collection before. This was from the 1950s archive. So
yes,
this is one of the older ones. But you've got those stylised forget-me-nots, the daisies, the bellflowers, but that really lovely limey green,
yes,
making those flowers really pop.
And it's one of those classics. You could almost imagine these in the Sunday supplements and things like that, couldn't you,
yes,
from the era?
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
Really
now,
lovely.
I have to say, the next one, this is beautiful.
This is, I know I shouldn't say it, but this is my favourite. I really, really love this one. I mean, it's very stylised design. Wildflower field. I mean, I love wildflowers.
Yes.
And this is just
So
how
pretty.
my wildflower garden looked last year. Not quite as vibrant in colour, but it's that bit of everything.
Yes.
So you've got your bit of honeysuckle trailing through it.
Yeah.
You've got chrysanthemums, you've got bellflowers and pansies, but the depth of colour in these is just brilliant, and you can colour match so many other pieces with it as well.
Beautiful.
Because of that.
Talking of other pieces, you may well have noticed that we've got the Wiltshire Shadows behind us. These ones have been put together especially to work with a one-day special. So if you are going for your one-day special, you can pop the details at the bottom of your screen, because quite affordably you can add those in alongside that flexi order. You've got 4 and they've got pick a mix of 2. My suggestion would be to go for all 4 if you can stretch to them, because that way you've got all 4 of those working alongside these beautiful flowers, but the story continues. The next one that we've got, again, such a pretty little daisy print, this one.
It is. Now this is a directional print, this one, and this one is called Kensington Gardens.
Ooh.
And for me, when I first saw it, I thought it actually does look like a royal park in London
Yes.
garden. It's very ordered, very formal.
Strategically placed.
Strategically placed, but equally beautiful, and not quite a ditzy print, because you can pick out those elements with EPP very easily.
Yeah.
But it just adds that extra detail to the flowers
Beautiful.
with them separated with the background,
Definitely.
I think.
One of my favourites is the next one, I have to say. I absolutely love it. We've got kind of like a pink and green version of this one coming up as well. Absolutely beautiful. And this one's Emily Silhouette, is it?
It is Emily
Oh,
Silhouette.
gorgeous.
So yes, it is an original that Emily first featured in the late 1980s. And this, they've reconfigured it in a monochrome version. So you've got your red
Gorgeous.
background with those white flowers with the fine outline detail. And the detail, when you get close up to it, is phenomenal.
Absolutely amazing. The tiniest of outlines you've got in there. This is one of those fabrics with interest, as I call it, because each time you look at it, you see something that you didn't notice last time.
Yeah, and when you start cutting into it, because you are going to use these fabrics, ladies and gentlemen, don't
You
just
must.
store them.
Yes.
You find different elements to feature in your patchwork or in your
Definitely.
pockets or whatever it is you're
See, I could just
designing.
imagine a plain shirt with those as like the collar or the
Absolutely.
cuffs, the
Or-
patch
yeah,
pocket.
exactly.
Like you
Reveres.
say,
It
yeah,
would be
perfect.
amazing. Yes.
Amazing. Now, the next one, I'm sure you will recognise these from those fabulous little dungarees that we saw earlier on. Of course, we had a different version of this one, which we introduced at the top of the one-day special. But again, this one, and if I remember rightly, you were saying with this one, it's non-directional. So
isn't.
perfect for a novice sewer.
It is. It's absolutely brilliant. And I love that nod to the Art Deco period
Yes.
with the tulip
Very much
shape.
so.
It really is. I think it's really fun, this fabric.
Isn't it beautiful? Now, the next one is literally, you know, when you can go out and you see these packets of seeds that say wildflowers,
Yes.
and you literally just scatter them and you don't know what's going to land and what's going to come up. That's almost what you've got here. It's almost
It
like a
is.
flower lawn almost with this one.
It is. It's really lush and rich, isn't it? This is Malvin Meadow. So again, it's got that wispy...
Yeah, that
you know,
meadow-like
as you
look,
say,
yeah.
chuck a handful of seeds out and this is what you're going to get. But the colours in it pop
gorgeous.
so well against that dark background.
Real happy fabric, that one. I like that one.
Yes.
Then the next one, again, we saw this earlier on, different colourway. This is a classic, like you say, 1930 style fabric. Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
So this is your Forget-Me-Not Blossom again. So we'd seen it in the pinks, and this time you've got it in those spring colours, although they're richer than spring, so you've moved into the summer. So you've got your Forget-Me-Nots, your daisies, your bellflowers, but then you've got that hint of pink popping out every so often as well.
Every so often, yeah. But again, if you put that next to a solid pink, it's going to bring out that pink even more so, isn't
and
it?
that's what I love about the whole collection. Doesn't matter what you put against it, you see something different come through, and
Definitely.
there's so much detail there to see.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. The next one, again, that injection of pinks and cerises and gorgeous, beautiful, almost like berry tones in this one. And again, a really pretty flower.
Arley Gardens, this is, and it really, as you say, it's just that classic collection piece, originally from the late 60s or mid 60s. Then it appeared again in the 1980s, but you've got those details again, even down to the tiny little berries, the centres of the tiny flowers.
Yeah.
I know, it's incredible. This one's actually my youngest daughter's favourite.
Oh, it's a very pretty one.
She wants to make a pair of trousers in this.
Oh, very nice too. Yes. I love that idea. Now the last one that we've got for you, but by no means the least, this one is a beautiful one. Gorgeous calming tones with this one, and I love this, it's almost like a monochrome finish with this one.
Very, very modern, this one. It almost stands out alone from some of the others, but actually marries in tones really well. Absolutely superb as a blender, this one, because you've got that little nod of detail, but that beautiful, soft, almost icy blue to blend.
Oh, Suzie, thank you so much for taking us through those amazing fabrics. And this is what I say, Liberty, it's a name that we all know and love, that iconic building, and you have been loving these fabrics. So I hope you didn't mind me that indulgent moment going through each and every one of these. Now already 10% of the stock has gone. This is the whole day's stock of your 1 day special. You're looking at 1/2 metre pieces, 15 of them, giving you 7.5 metres in total. You can see that saving on your screen there. That £16 saving means it's bringing the price right the way down, and to giving you the most affordable way of getting hold of these is with your 3 flexi buys. Looking at £34.62. Now bear in mind, you're going to be paying well, in the region of £7.99 per 1/2 metre usually. So that flexi buy payment is probably around, what's it, 3, maybe 4 of these pieces that you're paying for, but everything is being sent on its way to you, obviously in 7 days time, because it's an opportunity that it all needs to be cut and packaged up and sent off to you absolutely beautifully. So the details are on your screen there. If you're wanting to get involved, please do so. Do not miss out on this one. 948706. So it's only a week with regards to this one. So we're looking at the 6th of August with regards to this one, dispatched on its way to you, but you will be amongst some of the first people in the country to get your hands on these, because it is a 1 day special. It's launched here at the craft store, and it's the first time we've seen these on UK TV. They are absolutely beautiful. Of course, you're going to be able to get hold of all of these through your 1 day special with that fabulously discounted price, but you can get hold of them in kind of 1/2 metre pieces as well. It's what we call a pick and mix, and you can choose any 2 of these. Now it could be 2 repeats of the same, and if so, it will come to you as a continual piece, because that's cut to order. So if you're wanting particularly to go for any of these, then you can do. If you tuned into one of these and you thought, oh, I really must have a dress out of that one, then you can go for multiples. All you need to do is take the item number on your screen there and increase the quantity. If you increase to 2, you'll get a full metre. If you increase to 4, then you will get your 2 metres, and so on with regards to that. But they can all be from the same fabric, or you could just choose 4 of your favourites. But do consider, if you're going for a couple of sets of those pick and mixes, you're probably pretty much on your way for your first flexi buy payment on your complete 1 day special. So before you check out your baskets, do your maths, do your considerations. I know it's a considered purchase, but if you're thinking of coming back and getting hold of more, 1, we don't know if we'll have it available to you at that particular point, and the thing is, you won't get the saving or the 3 flexi buys that we've been talking of. Now of course, sometimes you might want to add in additional little bits and pieces. Well, that's where a fat quarter can come in very, very useful. And a fat quarter, especially if you're teaming it up with the Wiltshire Shadows behind us, can really go a long way. Now with regard to these, you're going to get your 5-piece fat quarter. So in here you've got the most incredible pieces, as you can see here, absolutely beautiful, and we've got 3 options with regards to these. They are gorgeous. £17.99 will get you just one of those on their way to you. Now bundle A, which bundle is bundle A? So that is a good one. The red one, this one here. So that's bundle A, was my favourite on the top there. So what are we getting in bundle A? Let's have a little delve in there. So obviously you're going to get the beautiful, oh, good choice with bundle A. To be honest, I think I'll be going for all of the bundles, to be honest. How can you choose though? I mean, it'd be rude to choose, wouldn't it?
It would.
Absolutely beautiful. Of course, that's the one that we saw on the dungarees. So that is bundle A. Bundle B, with the blue, that gorgeous, almost like blend. Oh yes, good choice with number 2 here. And these have been put together, obviously, with a lot of thought in mind as well, Susie.
Yeah, so A is your reds and pinks, B is your blues. And
gorgeous.
Yeah, you're mainly blue backgrounds, and then you've got your sort of, I would say, your wildflower mix and your meadows coming in.
Good description.
Yeah.
Good description. So that one is your bundle C. Now, of course, you can go for all of them. They're all on the same item number. Again, you're looking at a week's extended delivery on these, and you're looking at $17.99 for each set. But if you are going to go for all of those together, do consider the other bundles that we've got with the one-day special, because, of course, that will take you that little bit further with regards to these. So what we've got on the screen, we can get all of these. Ooh, now here we're talking. So all those savings that we were just speaking of, you're going to actually carry those savings forward, and you've got an additional £4 saving, which means you are going to get all of those. So you're saving £10 overall, but it means you are getting each and every one of those fat quarters. What a brilliant deal. Looking at £49.97. It's a beautiful Midsummer collection with those Liberty flowers there. 682018. So if you're wanting to get hold of those, that is another way for you to get hold of them. Of course, you can get them alongside your one-day special if you want in your half-metre pieces. Maybe you can't stretch to your complete collection with your one-day special. Well, that's where those fat quarters are going to be so useful, because there's a lot you can do with regards to these. So the details are on your screen should you want these. Now, mentioned the Wiltshire shadows. These are behind me, and they've been put together with these beautiful one-day special and these fat quarters in mind. So I'm going to bring the fat quarters with me. These are absolutely beautiful. Now, I've used these in a Liberty quilt, and they're just so useful to have.
They are, yes. If you're going to make a quilt with Liberty fabric, then you really want to have the Wiltshire shadows alongside to complement, because they have that subtle detail of that shadowed background. So they're a tone-on-tone collection. They are specifically designed to colour match in with Liberty fabrics, and these ones particularly go well with all the collection you've got on the show. Well, the entire collection, to be fair. Well,
I'm going to bring in this first one that we've got here, which is the one that was featuring the blues. So this one was set B, I think. I should have done them in the right order. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
we'll start with B.
Because that was B. Yeah.
The yellows there, the pinks there. As I carry that one across, you've got obviously your lighter ivory tones, and again you can see your greens there. So every single one of those is going to work beautifully. If we look at the fat quarter bundle, and of course all these fabrics are within your one-day special. Again, all of these colours working throughout, working across the board with all of these. Your pinks, your lighter tones, the greens. Naturally, if you can manage to go for all of these, you certainly would be benefiting, to be honest, if you're going for all of them together, because it's maximising your use. The final set that we've got here, which is your set C, which of course is the gorgeous meadow. I mean, straight away there, I don't need to show you the other fabrics, but you can see your yellows, your pinks, those beautiful greens, that ivory coming into play as well, and of course your green there as well. So to be honest, whichever of those you're going for, whether you're going for them as your fat quarter bundle or indeed you're going for them with your one-day special, you can see how beautifully they will work alongside these. But if you're wanting to go for your fabulous pick and mix, the details are on your screen there, as you can see. It's your Wiltshire shadow. You've got 4 options with regards to that one. So if you're wanting all 4 of them, all you need to do is choose 2 and then go back in and choose the other 2. But be quick. I know from personal experience they don't hang around, because they're a classic style and something that works so well alongside your Liberty one-day special. Talking of which, oh my goodness, what a deal. We have got the most incredible fabrics. You have been loving these. So many different ways you can get hold of these. Obviously, the most beneficial, the most affordable is with your 3 flexi buys with your one-day special. Now, you've got a £16 saving with regards to these. You will get all 15 of these half-metre pieces. You're going to get a £16 saving and 3 flexi buys on this one, £34.62, which means if you want to add anything else into your basket, then you can do, and you can spread the cost of those items over 3 payments as well, which is why it's a perfect opportunity for you to get your Wiltshire shadows, for you to get your fat quarters alongside it. But of course, it's what you can create with it. Well, Suzie, I mean, you mentioned before, it's what you can't create. I mean, there's so much that you can do with
There is,
these.
it's endless. I mean, I've got numerous Liberty bags that I've created of various sorts, cosmetic bags, tool bags, on the desk junk bags, everything, you know, quick caddies. But then I've got a tea cosy.
Yeah.
Because I do love my teapots. So I've got a tea cosy, mug rugs. Then you've got dungarees, I've got dolls' clothes. Yeah, literally anything. Sunglasses cases.
Wow.
iPad. I made, you know, my husband a iPad case out of Liberty fabrics.
Beautiful,
So
gorgeous.
why not? You know, use it.
Definitely.
Use it.
This is why you need your one-day special. Now, the details on your screen, 9487063. Flexi buys of £34.62 will get you all of your beautiful one-day special fabrics into your basket, but more importantly, on their way to you in a week's time. So, Suzie, we're going to come over to you.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to tempt us with?
Well, I thought we'd make a mug rug, actually.
Oh, okay.
Or what used to be called a coaster. Not sure when we started changing the name.
That's a good point.
yeah.
It did change at some point.
It is. But I always have various mug rugs around my workroom, and I really like changing them up. So I thought we'd make a version of the cushion behind you, which was like a butterfly block. I don't know if the cameras can see it. Yeah, it might be easier. So it's just a very simple half square. They're all half square triangles, but if you switch half square triangles around, you can make a stylised butterfly. And I thought, well, as the flowers are stylised, let's make a stylised butterfly. So I thought, well, actually, it'd be really nice to do that as a mug rug. So I thought we'd do a mug rug. And it may take us into the next hour. I don't know. It depends how quick I can sew.
We're just having a leisurely sew. Incidentally, if you're looking at placing an order for anything and you're going to go on the phone lines to do it, just bear in mind you might find yourself in a queue. Apologies. It's Liberty, what can I say? Yeah, makes a queue.
It does. But it's worth queuing for.
Definitely.
Definitely worth queuing for. So, half square triangles, I'm sure lots of you have made these or know how to do them, but for anyone who hasn't, I'm going to go through it from scratch. I hope that's okay. So I've started with a 4.5 inch square, and that I will eventually be cutting down. But the thing to remember when you're making half square or quarter square triangles is whatever size you start with is not going to be your finished size. Okay. Because you end up losing quite a bit, as you'll see as we go through the process. So the first thing you need to do is to locate the diagonal half of your piece. Now I've used the white Wiltshire shadow for this. Beautiful. And there is a right and wrong side to this. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but there is a slight, very slight shimmer on the right side, which you don't get on the wrong side. So what I've done is I've located my diagonal, and then I've moved, this is an add a quarter ruler, but what you want to do is have the diagonal and then you draw in a 1/4 inch either side. Or, if you prefer, you draw your centre diagonal and you stitch 1/4 inch. Now, because I switch between machines, I'd never trust myself. So I always draw my 1/4 inch. And also for live TV, it gives me somewhere to focus. I don't want to do it wrong. So there's lots of ways of doing it. You can get lots of different tools. My other ruler has got, again, a 1/4 inch marking, so I can mark on it. So have a look at the tools you have, and if you haven't got one, then I would recommend you find some sort of add a quarter. You're then going to stitch with a normal straight stitch along those 2 tram lines. Now we want 2 of these to make a butterfly. I'm actually going to make it symmetrical. Well, that's a bit of probably a damning, not a very sweeping statement. It is, yeah. They're not going to be symmetrical at all, are they? And they're certainly not going to be lifelike. But because we need 2, it means I can chain piece, which means all I do is run it along side by side through the machine. It just means I'm not breaking thread and I can speed through a lot quicker. So when you come to do things like the cushion, or if you want to go bigger and do a quilt, these can be quite quick to put together.
Now, when we talk about Liberty, I mean, if you say the
Yes.
name Liberty to me instantly, whether it's because I'm a sewer, I don't know, but I automatically think of fabric. So is that where the company Liberty started from in the original days?
No, it isn't. So originally, Liberty, I mean, the iconic flagship store, I'm sure anyone who's been to London and been anywhere near Regent Street will have seen.
We've got that fabulous photograph
You
by your
have.
sewing machine there. It looks incredible.
When I remember when I was growing up, my father worked in London, so we were allowed, treat visits up to London. And I remember going to be taken to see the Christmas displays in Liberties.
Yeah. It's the staircase that I just love.
Exactly.
That staircase.
As you walk through that main entrance, or my favourite is to go through the flower shop.
Yes, oh yeah.
And then you see all those carvings in the wood and
Incredible.
the beautiful tiles and all of those images. When you look at those in the building and then you come to really look at the fabrics, you can just see them popping up in the fabrics as well. And that for me makes anything I make with it so much more special, because it's a nod back to my childhood. It's a nod back to that historical place. I mean, Liberty, Arthur Liberty was an amazing importer of goods and different things from around the world. He had, he had
a good eye.
He did, and his whole aim was to bring the outside world to us, really.
Fabulous.
And boy did he. I mean, it's just incredible, everything in there. And it's nice to see the different elements from around the world come through as well.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the Art Deco collections that we've had within the fabric range, you see that, they were all a nod to the Art Deco buildings in the States.
Yes, very much.
Not here.
Now we're chatting and I'm not letting you explain
fine.
what you've done.
All I've done, she says, racing ahead. So I've sewn those, and then with a rotary cutter and my ruler, I've just cut up between the two to separate them.
Okay.
It's, not particularly difficult. So this bit is critical. The iron is your best friend when you're working, and you're pressing, you're not ironing. I don't do ironing at the moment. We're just pressing everything.
Now you're pressing on one of the wool mats.
I am. Oh my gosh, they are a game changer. If you haven't had an experience with one of these wool mats, boy, are you going for a superb time, because they make such a difference to the crisp edge you get when you press.
They kind of send the heat back up through the fabric.
They reflect your heat back up. They don't send the heat through onto your mat. So you'll notice I'm working on a mat. I'm not worried about it. At home I work on my work table, not worried about it. I've even worked on the dining room table. I hope you're not listening, Mr. Duncan.
I will be doing something else. You'll be making a lemon meringue or something like that.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. The recipe's in the book. Okay. So it just makes a big, big difference. You can use steam with it, but just remember, if you're going to use steam, because this is a natural product, you will get that wet sheep smell come through. Yeah. For want of another
It's not something you think about until it actually happens, and then it's like, oh, mental note.
Where's that from? Yeah. But even if you use your Starch Savvy or your Best Press on here as well, it works. You're still going to get really good results, but you can see how crisp a press you get.
It's brilliant, and it's nice as well if you're working with things like your crochet or your knitting and you want to actually pin out your pieces.
Yes.
So details at the bottom of the screen if you're wanting to get hold of yours. 13.5 inch square, so really good size for blocks as well.
It is superb for blocks. So what I want to do now is to make sure these are all the same size, and I'm going to bring these back down to 3.5 inch squares, and I'm going to use this gadget just for speed, really, because we're on camera. But if you've got all you need is a 45-degree angle. I'll show you how to do it with a normal ruler if you haven't got one of these gadgets. But all it means is I'm starting from the same point. Now I know it looks like I've wasted some fabric doing this because I'm cutting bits off, but believe me, they get used. I have the poshest stuffing for my things going. No, some of it goes for rat bedding, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
My son has the rat bedding.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he comes and collects a bag from me every so often, or I drop it off. They have very posh beds. But you can see you get a really nice square then. So I'm just going to do that with all of them. I'll do 2 with this ruler and 2 with the other ruler. So you can see you don't have to have posh things, but all I'm doing is aligning the 45-degree angles through the diagonals and then cutting up the 3.5-inch
just
lines.
squaring those off.
Yeah, just so that I can do that. But we will do one with a normal ruler just to show that it can be done with that. This is just a speedy tool. Well worth.
And these are all things that obviously you can find on our website and you accumulate over time.
I know you have had this particular one on there
before.
before.
While we're talking about maybe getting started, I know quite often people will look at, they're thinking about getting started, having a go at sewing, maybe making their first ever quilt, and they'll be thinking about all fabrics, and maybe going down, dare I say, the economical route.
Yes.
To be honest, personally, if you're a novice crafter, even more so, go for a quality fabric, because it's going to be your friend. It's going to be something that's going to you work with beautifully. You're not going to get the stretching and warping. That's the key thing, because the weave of this is incredible.
Oh, it's superbly woven fabric, and it presses so nicely. It handles nicely. It's so when you're doing your seam matching, whatever your project is, you're going to get a really good finish. And if you are a beginner, you're right. Sometimes when you begin a craft, you think, oh, I'll just practice with something less. Well, okay, have a practice block with something else, but don't be frightened to use it. It is fabric. It's not going to bite. You need to do something. But the other thing I would say is do something that you like. Don't just do something for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Make sure it is a project that you really like and you want to do.
Yes.
Because then you won't mind all this bit, which can be tedious. If you've got 125 of these to cut, believe me, an hour later you're thinking, really?
But I think that's so right. I mean, I've got fabric, literally a fabric in my stash I've had probably about 5 years, and it's only in the last week I've got a pattern that I want to use with it, because it is a case, some of these fabrics you might not instantly pick them up straight away and start working with them, but please do not leave them too long in your stash, because they work absolutely beautifully. Even if you're just taking a little piece from each of them and putting them together as blocks, then it's going to be amazing. But of course with this you've got your 1/2 metre pieces, so you can do your larger projects. Imagine creating bags and showcasing these fabrics. I mean, they are the fabrics that need showing off, in all honesty. So things like bags are the perfect opportunity. Clothing, again. Imagine walking around and somebody saying, oh, I love your blazer. Oh, yes, it's Liberty. Liberty, because you can say that, because it is. You are creating with Liberty fabrics. We're looking at a flower show, and it's the Midsummer full collection. If you have just joined us, this is your one-day special. You've got all 15 of the latest addition to the Midsummer collection, and it's the UK TV launch of these. This is the first place you can get hold of them, and you've got an amazing saving of £16, bringing that price down on each of those 1/2 metres, and it gives you the ability to spread your cost as well. The details showing on your screen there. Works out at just £6.92 per 1/2 metre, so you're saving over £1 on each of those 1/2 metres, bringing the price down, but also giving you the ability to spread the cost as well. So although you make that first payment of less than £35, you will get all of these sent on their way to you. That is delivered to your door if you're a Freedom member. Second and third payments will go out in a month and 2 months' time, but you will have all of these gorgeous fabrics and you will be planning your project, I am sure. And of course, Suzie, I mean, you're showing us that we can create something quick and easily if we want to.
Absolutely, without using loads of fabric as well, because that's the other thing. You may not know immediately what you want to do, but you're itching to have a go.
Yes.
So just cut a little piece and use it, because then you've got you know, you've done a first project, you've got something you're really proud of to show and use, and you're not just stashing it away in a cupboard.
You've almost scratched that itch, haven't you? That first itch to get cracking with it. So many of you taking advantage of this particular one-day special. 20% of the stock has gone. And that's a stock that we knew we would be busy for, but we didn't imagine just how busy we would be. 948706. Don't forget your Wiltshire shadows to work alongside. Things like your sashing, things like extending the usability. Clever way of making the most out of your Liberty fabrics is to bring those in. And all 4 of those are on a pick and mix, and they work beautifully alongside these. And of course, another way for you to get hold of your fabrics is also either with your pick and mix. If there's a couple that you're wanting to get extras of, you can go with your pick and mix, your half meters, or you've got your fat quarters as well. Either going for individual fat quarters or go for them all together. And of course, we're here because we are celebrating the fact that it's summer quilting. Summer quilting here at the craft store, and we've got the most amazing prize draw that's happening. Each and every one of our fabulous companies joining us during the event, donating a prize to our prize draw, and one lucky person is going to win all of them. You can see those fabulous Carnaby fabrics have been added at the front there. There's a lot of fabric in here, a lot of inspirational quilt patterns, as you can see. So maybe if you are the person to win at this, you'll be using some of those fabrics, or maybe your one-day special alongside one of those patterns there. So thank you to each and every one of the companies who've donated so far. There's a lot more to come. It's going on all over the weekend. How are you getting on over there, Suzie?
I'm good. So I've got my 4 squares at 3.5 inches. So I just want to show you, once you've got half square triangles, you can do lots of different things with them. You can do pinwheel designs, which is what I've used on the cushion behind me.
That's
so
beautiful.
You just keep turning your fabrics round.
And that Wiltshire shadow again, you can see the Wiltshire shadow in there, kind of framing each of those windmills.
And it makes these pop. And I always have to work this round, and I've got it all wrong, but we'll get there eventually. No, I haven't got there eventually. Where did I go wrong there? Oh. So you just keep playing, and you can marry them together.
See there, I love that style as well, where you've got those kind of diamonds going on there.
You can get like a chevron effect going on. You can also extend these into quarter square triangles, which I shall do tomorrow in one of the shows.
I love that.
So but we're going to do that now.
We've got a fabulous cushion here, and this is Susie's inspiration for her demonstration, turning those half square triangles into butterflies. I think this is such a clever idea, putting a couple of them back to back, as you can see there, and then the others making those gorgeous open wings, a little bit of hand embroidery and a little covered button there to boot as well. And again, that lighter fabric that you can see separating that gorgeous pink frame, all coming from those Wiltshire shadows. But again, the fabrics from your one-day special featuring in these as well. You can see how well they all beautifully work together there. So yeah, love that. So I've never thought of the butterflies with that before.
No, you see, but you're not mad like me, are you? It takes, you know, it takes that mental mind to get it sorted.
Oh, that looks lovely.
I always look at things and see pictures and things in it as well. So there you go. I've got
see
my
the world
butterfly.
in triangles.
I do. Well, yeah. Or I'm terrible. I look at something and I go, oh, that would be a perfect such and such. Now, although I pressed everything to the print side, usually that works when you're marrying half square triangles, but because I've mixed up the way I'm going, at this stage what I'm going to do is just check my seams, because you do want these seams to be going in opposite directions to nestle nicely. So that's where I'm just going to switch that fold over.
Do you ever press your seams open, Suzie?
I do. I am a big seam opening presser, which I know isn't necessarily the norm, but I find it reduces bulk considerably, especially when you start going down the quarter square triangle route, or you've got lots of small blocks coming together.
Kind of that centre point, isn't it?
I mean, there's a particular project that I'm midway through that I was going to show that has got so many seams involved, because it's all 2.5 inch squares.
Oh wow!
That all of them are open, because otherwise you'd be forever.
Too much,
and your poor sewing machine, bless it, you know, they are great, these sewing machines, aren't they? But let's not overdo it. So what you're now going to do is make sure those seams line up. Now I'm going to stitch these. These are the top wings, so I want my coloured squares on the outside, so I'm stitching down this side, but I still want those points to align, so I can use my wool mat just to make sure that I've gone through the seam into the mat, and I can nestle those seams nicely together at the top. And so when I sew, I know everything is perfectly aligned.
Now, are you working with the fine quilt pins there?
I am. These magic pins, I call them.
Funnily enough, we've got these available for you on the show as well. And they're brilliant. They come in fabulous little cases. You can see you can get 50 of those, and they're beautifully long and slender, so it's nice and easy for you to work with these. And for kind of pinning out projects as well. They almost look like acupuncture. Don't use them for acupuncture.
No, don't use them
But they're that kind of long needle that you've got.
They are extremely long, yes.
And long pinch, as I say.
That means that when you come to put your quilt together, then they will actually go through. I get mine through all 3 layers.
Oh,
so
really?
The backing, the quilt wadding, and the top layer. But
I need to get some of these. I bought some, and dare I say it, this is kind of like a bit of a confessional. I bought some economy pins.
Yeah, not worth it, is it?
And what I tended to find is that sometimes, I know we say don't stitch over your pins, but sometimes your foot is on the pin and you suddenly think, oh, I need to take the pin out. I forgot to take it out. And I pulled the head of the pin, and I just literally bought, it's like they've got like little buttons on the end. The button came off and the rest of the pin was stuck in the fabric.
Oh, nightmare.
Yeah, why? So yeah, invest in good quality pins and then you don't have to worry.
Exactly. The other thing I like about these is the non-slip grip on the end.
Yes.
So even if you've got lovely long nails, unlike me, then you've got something
That's
to
a really
grip
good
onto.
point. Yeah.
I mean, I know people who've got very long extensions on their, false nails, who have managed to grip and use these correctly. But they are really good, and I've actually tipped the entire box upside down accidentally, and they all landed that way up.
Really?
I know. I'm not sure why.
Don't try it again now.
I'm not going to do it now. But in the carpet, they all stood that way up, which was really good, because we had a very young puppy at the time, and I was terrified that he was going to be treading on pins.
And it's brilliant because they come in a little box as well.
Oh, I love the little box. 50
of those pins in there for just £10.99. Popping that in your basket alongside your one-day special, you can spread the cost of that over 3 payments too as well. So 621160.
So we've done that. We've matched those together in the order we want them, and this is where I am going to press my seams open, because you've got 2 lots of seams coming together at the point.
Yes.
If I didn't press them open, it's like, which way is it going to go?
Yeah. Just to give you a bit of a time check, Susie, we've got about 10 minutes left.
That's fine, because we can finish the other side, because we're going to do something different on the back.
Oh, okay.
Because it's going to be a reversible mug rug.
Very nice too.
But I say mug rug, I actually like these size pieces. I have these hanging around my workroom just as inspiration pieces as well, or little pieces of artwork. They're also really nice to give as gifts to people. And at the moment, we all like to say thank you to people for doing things, don't we? And
well, it might be that you're buying maybe, I don't know, a porcelain mug or a nice fancy mug for somebody for a birthday, and then giving them something like this. We've got little coasters that I've quilted, and they're by the side of the bed for like glasses of water and things like that, because they're just nice to have.
Even
nice to have around.
under a plant pot.
Yeah, good point.
Because when I water our plants, they tend to water the shelf as well. So they're just nice. They make a feature, don't they?
They do indeed.
Or stood underneath a bottle of whatever it is you're drinking is always nice.
Exactly. Now, we are coming towards the end of the launch hour of our fabulous Liberty One Day special. Of course, Susie's going to be back with us at 8 o'clock this evening, but it's such a beautiful collection. Lots of you taking advantage of this while you've got the opportunity, which is good. It's a one-day special, hence the deal launched at 6 o'clock this evening, running for a full period of 24 hours, right the way through to tomorrow evening, if stock permits us to run so long with it. But you can see there you've got that saving of £16. That's bringing your half metre price right the way down. Rather than paying £7.99 per half metre, you're paying more like, was it £6.92? Did we say? I think we did. So it makes it a very affordable way for you to get hold of the entire collection. Now we have got other ways. We've got fat quarters, you've got your pick and mix at the bottom of your screen as well. So there's loads of different opportunities for you to get hold of these. But the one on your screen is the best deal that we've got for you. It's your one-day special. It's 3 payments. You can see they're £34.62. It gives you all 15 of those, and you can see they're metric half metres with these 7.5 metres in total. My goodness, that is a lot of Liberty fabric. Beauty is obviously you can quilt with it if you're wanting to. Dressmaking, absolutely phenomenal. The quality and the crispness of this when you're coming to make garments, absolutely gorgeous. And the beauty is it's the fabric that does the talking. You don't have to have a complex pattern if you don't want to. It could be just a simple a little dress that you make. It might be that you're using different panels in different fabrics, very much the style. Love the bags with these as well. Showcase these fabrics. Do not hide them under a bushel. Make sure they are out there and you are using them, even if it's down to little gift bags or little makeup bags like this piece that you can see here as well. Now the pick and mix option is exactly the same fabrics that we're speaking of, but you're just choosing a couple of them. So rather than going for all of them, then you can choose. Now obviously this gives you the opportunity to hone in on particular fabrics. So if you're wanting 2 of the same, you'll actually get sent a full metre. Everything is on extended delivery to allow cutting time. So we're looking at the 6th of August with regards to your dispatch of these, but when they come to you, they will come to you just waiting to be used. So which are you going to go for? Are you going to go for the one-day special? It might be that you're honing in on particular ones, like the one that you're looking at the moment there, that gorgeous pale blue. That'd be a fabulous one for your sashing. So you could go for this as your one-day special, add an extra metre of that in, choose 2 of your half metres as your pick and mix. That will give you 1.5 metres that you could then use for your sashing to add your fabulous frames around your blocks. That's not a bad way to go, but of course you could do that with any one of these if you wanted to, because there's so many of them that would work so well. And of course you've got your Wiltshire shadows behind us as well. We're going to go back and see Suzie in a few moments, but I want to tell you about the fabulous fat quarters that you've got, because all of these collections have been split into 3 fat quarter bundles. So you've got the opportunity to get hold of set A, which is this beautiful one, which is kind of themed around your reds and your pinks. So again, all of these featuring within your one-day special, but this time we're looking at fat quarters. So they're 50 centimetres by 55 centimetres, so really good size pieces with those. Might be that you're getting them in addition to your one-day special. It might be that you're going for them by themselves. Now, if you're going for them by yourselves, just hold still for a moment, because you've got a way of getting hold of all of these. Set B is the one here with the gorgeous blues in there. Beautiful blues, I'm going to call this one. You can see all those gorgeous blue tones there with your florals, but every single one of these have got the additional colours in there. We're calling it blue because obviously you've got your lead of your blue in there, but you've still got your pinks, you've still got your greens in there. You've got some absolutely beautiful prints, as you can see, all featuring within your one-day special. Third and final one, this is the one that I think Suzie hit the nail on the head. It's almost like a summer meadow, this one, isn't it? All your florals featuring in here, those gorgeous colour tones, little tiny ditzy prints in there. That's a perfect one if you're wanting to use it for your binding, but again, you might want to use this for your English paper piecing. Might be all of those different elements that you're going to be picking out if you want it, and that I think is one of my favourites. That looks amazing. Now I'm going to take these with me because these are in a bigger bundle, so if you're wanting to get hold of all of these, do not throw away your Liberty ribbon that you've got there as well, because you'll utilise that. Now the £6 saving that you gathered on each of these, you're going to be seeing on your screen there. You're saving an extra £4, bringing that price to £49.97. 682018 is the item number for all of those, and I would not blame you in the slightest if you went for these, either in addition to the one-day special, or maybe as an alternative if you can't stretch to the one-day special. But one thing I would suggest you do is you take those fabrics and you have a little look at these fabulous Wiltshire shadows. Now every single one of those 15 fabrics that we've spoken of work beautifully with these because they've been put together with the one-day special in mind. So I'm going to move these along and you will see the yellows, the greens, all of these different colourways work beautifully alongside these. You've got your pinks, you've got your blues, you've got your yellows, all going across these fabrics as we go. The lighter tone, we've seen that repeatedly being used, and then of course the beautiful green, because of course that green is coming through all of these. So if you're wanting any of these, they are on half metres as pick and mix, so you could quite easily go for 2 and then another set of 2, giving you all 4 of those. Or if you envisage yourself using a lot of one particular one, especially that white, then you can go for 2 of those, giving you the full meters. White is possibly the most popular of all of them, but to be honest, it doesn't matter which one you go for. I would go for all of them if you could do, because it gives you the possibilities of working with these. At this moment in time, when you're placing your order, you don't know exactly which colour fabric or which way you're going to be using them. So having them all available to you gives you a lot more possibilities when you do get them all home. And you've got 3 flexi buys if you're adding these in alongside as well. So I would go for those. Pop them both into your baskets, 2 pick and mixes, 1 of each of those, alongside your one-day special, and there you go, you've got everything that you need as well. So the one-day special, can bring those details back up on the screen for you, because that's what our lovely Susie's been working with, and the details are there. 948706, we are talking Liberty, we are talking a one-day special, and we are talking a UK TV launch of these amazing fabrics. They're going to be dispatched in a week's time, 6th of August, not too long to wait, but oh my goodness, you're going to have fun with them when they do arrive. They are absolutely incredible. Now I'm going to come back over to you, Susie, because I can see you've been pressing away there. You've got your butterfly.
I'm trying to cool it down as well for the next bit. So we've got my butterfly. What I wanted to show you is how I got that arc for the antennae. Yeah. So I actually used my rotary cutter.
Okay, right.
As my template. But if you've got templates, then use a template. But I found this worked reasonably well for me. So all I did was with a fabric marker pen, I just drew round. Hence
you wanting your fabric to cool down.
Exactly, because it would just disappear otherwise. And you can, because it is heat disappearing, it means that once I've stitched along there, then the lines will go when I press it. And the other thing that I did on the cushion, which I'm not going to do on a mug rug, is put a fabric covered button.
And this is utilising the tiniest of scraps.
The tiniest is literally, it's 1.5, I think it was 1.25 inches I used circle.
Tiny amount,
for that. So it's nothing, you know, nothing. But I wouldn't put that for a mug rug because you wouldn't be able to stand anything on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'd have a wobbly
mug.
But
it just gives that feature. So on the cushion, I've hand stitched the antennae and then put French knots, which aren't particularly good. I'm not the best French knotter.
They look fabulous.
They were critiqued quite severely by my daughter.
Show me that person. Oh, if it's your daughter, I can't reprimand her.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But if you've
anybody
got
else,
a nice long stitch on your sewing machine, you can use that. You could do zigzag. You could do whatever you want. But it's just a fun thing to add detail.
Very effective, and again, just one of the ways that you can work with these. Susie, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you. It's been too long since I worked with you, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And I know that you've thoroughly enjoyed yourself working with these fabrics.
I love them.
Now, just to let you know, Susie's going to be back with you obviously at 8 o'clock with Yanis, but we are rapidly approaching a quarter of the stock. Now, I know lots of you place your orders in between the shows as well, so now is the time for you to run to the phones, run to the website, place your order and ensure that these are on their way to you. But don't forget, please do not forget your Wiltshire shadows. If you want to go for the fat quarters, then you can do it, and of course your half meters are available as well. I'll see you straight after the break. Fancy